Cyberpunk 2077, boys, is getting its biggest patch in months. Or is it? Hell yeah, it isn't. Much like the condition the game launched in, it's very confusing. Let's get it. Alrighty, Stallion, sharing my screen over here. I have an article pulled up. Actually, I have multiple. It's a very weird situation. So all these major news journalistic platforms, oops, daisy. So all these major gaming news journalistic platforms that I typically go to as reference points for my gaming news videos and whatnot, Tech Radar, WCC Tech, CBR, We Got This Covered, The Verge, Kotaku, Polygon, they're all releasing these articles saying there's a 32 gigabyte update or patch in the works. It's viewable on the Epic Game Store. It was data mined. We can see it. The thing is, though, I pulled out my shovel. I busted out my thick boy. My shovel. That's what I'm referring to by my thick boy in this case here. And there's an article right here. CD Projekt Red denies that the biggest Cyberpunk update will arrive soon. So this is a quote from CD Projekt Red in reference to this 32 point whatever gigabyte leak that is in the Epic Game Store that all these gaming journalistic platforms are releasing as fact right now as articles saying, hey, there's this new patch. It could be 1.3, the obviously the successor to 1.2, and it's 32 gigs. It was a short marketing campaign to remind you of update 1.2 that already happened, and the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 is now available in digital stores for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation gamers. Yes, they did bring it back to PSN about a month ago. Information on any future updates will be published in due course via our official channels, wrote CD Projekt in an email sent directly to our editorial office. So this was 6 days ago to WCC Tech. But then the plot and the shaft both thicken because all of these articles are from a day ago. Massive Cyberpunk update, 38 gigabyte big update discovered. Next major update reportedly seen on the Epic Game Store. And this is also from WCC Tech, but 1 day ago. So it's very confusing that 6 days ago CDPR made a official statement saying, hey, there's no major update. Basically, what you guys are dicking around about is patch 1.2, which, by the way, was pretty decent. But then the subsequent patch that we got that was in between 1.2 and supposedly 1.3, whenever that comes out, wasn't great. I made a video about it, just showcasing the subtle tweaks. Most of it was console-specific boost to performance, which definitely the consoles needed it, hands down, especially the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Not the One S, not the PlayStation 4 Pro, but the base 8th generation home consoles, so the PS4 and the Xbox One. And keep in mind, there is no PS5 or Xbox Series versions right now. The Series is running a boosted version of the Xbox One X, not Series X, the One X, and the PlayStation 5 is running, and now that you can actually download it on the PSN again, the PlayStation 5 is running the PS4 Pro version with a slight graphical buff, but they don't run fantastic, to be 110% honest. Basically PC is the definitive way to play CP 2077 right now. Games generally run better on PC anyway, especially if you have a high spec rig, but in this case specifically, it's not nearly as good on the consoles. For example, when you're walking through the crowds in Night City, it is vastly scarce. There's like a third of the NPCs walking on the streets that you'll see on the PC version, and the draw distance is like a quarter and stuff like that. Just a couple little, and like, they've made huge leaps and bounds and strides. Don't get me wrong. Like the PlayStation 4 dipped down to around 18 frames per second in a lot of scenes, to where it would look like you're under a strobe light at a disco. They have fixed a lot of that, and the Xbox One would literally crash, not just the game, but in some instances, people's consoles. Like they had to hard reset them, unplug it from the wall, hold down the Xbox button for 15 seconds to get the juice out of it, and basically reboot it. Like it was bad, just not good. The next Cyberpunk update promises to be a quite thick, big, girthy boy, according to a new discovery that has been shared online. today. So, okay. So this is the latest and greatest. So don't get confused. There is an update coming, guys. I know. If you're confused, I'm right there with you, sister. PricklyAssassin, who used the Epic Inspector tool to find this information, discovered a new 38.2 gig big old fat boy update that will be released in the next few weeks. The update has also been uploaded to Steam and GOG. So basically, it's just a placeholder that's been data mined on the store to let us know, hey, 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to be getting a pretty fat Cyberpunk update. So that's good. I really do hope that this is a little bit more substantial than the soft patch that we just got. Not 1.2, but I'm talking about the patch in between, which again was just console buffs and whatnot. And I understand CDPR's hit some rough times here recently. They were hacked, and then there was like some stuff that happened at their physical offices. It got all fucked up and whatnot. So they're dealing with a lot. I get that. And also they're developing a AAA title during a pandemic and whatnot. I understand. Times are rough. I get it. But the subsequent patches have been few and far between. And don't get me wrong, 1.1 and 1.2 were very good. And they did fix a lot of the issues. The game busting, game breaking, progress stopping bugs and glitches that were in the game that like literally you could not progress. Like it just, you couldn't do it. Like there was something on screen where there was a dialogue piece that was unloaded, or you were supposed to open a door, but it's glitched out or something. All that, 99% of that's been fixed. So you can play through the game, but it still has things you'll see where like gravity's not properly programmed, and like vehicles go flipping into the air and stuff like that, or punch an NPC and he's either like a ton of bricks, like a freaking tree, and just doesn't move, or he just goes flopping around like a rag doll. So it's weird. And there's other things too, console specific weaknesses that could use a good buffing. But to be honest, there's only so much they can do. It's a very, very big scope and scale game. Obviously, it's an open world, but not just an open world. It also has like a lot of layers to that as well. It's an onion. If you peel it back, there's like interiors to buildings and like stuff happening off in the sky, like little sky ships and stuff. So I get it. It's bold, so it's really going to flex the shit out of the PS4 and the Xbox One, to the point to where I have said in the past that I do stand by the statement, this game, even though it was announced prior to the launch of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it's not meant to run on those consoles. It really ought to be ran on a PS5, Xbox Series X. The Series S, I think, would even still struggle. I have a Series S, and trust me, after playing games like the Medium and witnessing graphic popping and some short draw distances and whatnot, I think the Series S would even struggle. It'd be great with the load times with the SSD and everything. And, you know, there is built-in ray tracing into that Series S. And in a lot of titles, it can hit 120 hertz, 120 frames per second. But it will absolutely cap out all of its resources trying to run CP77. So Series X, in this order: PC, Series X, PlayStation 5. That's how you're going to play this game. And hopefully patch 1.3, which it seems like this is indeed 1.3. I mean, it's huge. It's 30 something gigs. It's fat. So it seems like 1.3, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be getting it. I will be doing a video the day it comes out, going over all the patch notes and everything, and what was fixed, what is not fixed. And unfortunately, if new bugs or glitches are introduced, because that has been a trend here where the game is kind of backtracking, like it'll fix something, but then it'll introduce some new craziness with the patches that are supposed to be fixing the game. So we'll see. I am hopeful. I am very hopeful. Hope for the best, expect the worst. That is a term that the Navy taught me. So we'll see. If you enjoyed the video, shove your thumb not in any orifices of your body, but on the like button. That ticks the YouTube algorithm, tickles the Google prostate, which is very sensitive up there, and that helps the video to be seen by more people, which I do personally appreciate. If I could shake your hand in person, I would. I'd grab you on the tuchus and give you a pat on the rump. Good game, but I cannot, so I will thank you via this camera lens here. And I will see you guys in the next video, which shall be tomorrow, because I upload daily. That 'twas written in stone, and it is an accurate statement that I upload daily, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.